I am here with Carla Murino from Near and Far Rescue. It is an amazing organization here on Staten Island. So I'll be honest with you. I know you and I only started dealing with each other a couple of years ago.
Yes.
So I didn't know that much about you until, we met, and she is absolutely amazing. I cannot believe the work that you do, really,
Thank you.
truly. So where does Near and Far have two names?
So it's Near and Far Animal Foundation.
Okay.
That's the official nonprofit 501c3 name.
Okay.
You can call us anything you want. We like to say we're the rescuers rescue because we tend to help independent rescuers.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. So are you more of like, a rescue? There's a dog in a bad situation. You're going to come and pick up the dog and.
So we'll jump in, we're boots on the ground if need be. Since we do a lot of help in Texas, Puerto Rico, Venezuela, and Peru. So we are near and far. We do help.
I get it.
Yeah.
Thanks for breaking that down for me, see?
Since we do help those independent rescuers, that they're absolutely angels on earth, really true boots on the ground, doing the hard work, the heavy lifting, but they don't have the resources.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where we step in and try to help with finance, and we do a lot of medical cases.
Right. That I've seen and that I did know about. So you are you a Forster-based rescue when you're here?
We're a little of both.
Okay.
So we started 5 years that Near and Far is in existence, and that was Forster-based. And what we do is we do help those that are not in the New York City, tri-state area.
Mm-hmm.
And we will take those dogs once they're healthy. We'll take those dogs up and find them homes. So it's not just us, funding their care. We also want to get them placed and alleviate our rescuers wherever they are so they can help others. But locally, we are Forster-based until 2 years ago. I like to say we're Staten Island's best kept secret.
Well, I didn't know about it either until we were coming to pick up some puppies. Yeah. So yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we do have a we like to call it a Forster retreat, local, and we are allowed to house smaller dogs. Some of our larger dogs, we do have a place in Pennsylvania that one of our dear friends, she's Auntie Andrea, we call her, and we could have anywhere from 2 to 4 of our larger dogs there at a time. And then once they get adopted from there, then we'll either bring up, a couple more.
Okay. So you help out locally. And then how did you get involved with helping? Because I know I go other places and I cannot even believe, what I see, how their animals are treated. It's unbelievable. They're not pets. It's horrible. How did you get started helping out? And I know a lot of stories about Puerto Rico. Mm-hmm. That's horrendous. I don't even like to think about that stuff. That's where I'm the worst one. I'm like, I just want to help the dog, right? And focus on the dog's future, because the past just destroys me. And there's so many horrible cases and so many sad stories. And I don't know that I could do what you do and what Mike does and what a lot of the rescues do, because I get so stuck there on that sadness, and yes, helping gets me out of it, but I'm not going to lie. Like, I lay in bed at night and I'm just like, how could people be so cruel? How could these things happen? And I get stuck in a very sad place with that.
Well, I like to say, even though this may sound strange, that I feel lucky enough that I still cry. Mm-hmm. I'm not calloused. Yeah. And I've always said, the minute I don't shed a tear on one of these really critical, horrific stories, it's my time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then I have to do something else. So I do still cry a lot, but that also motivates me. Mm-hmm. I am a co-founder. I cousin Roseanne, she'll say she's the far. She doesn't like the mics and she doesn't like, but she.
And you're so good though. I saw you at that community town hall meeting. I know, you're good.
So, but Ro is, she'll do the all the back end stuff, and she's phenomenal. But we get affected. We get affected.
I'm not a rescue, but I get a phone call probably every single day, and maybe more than that. People will send me pictures, and I'm like, I'm not even opening that. And I'll tell them, I'm like, I'm not going to open this. I'm going to give you a phone number for you to call, because I can't. It's daily. It's daily.
Sure.
Just the sadness is just too much, and I just give you so much credit. But I understand how you can look past that. It's just like with fostering. People go, I can't foster because I'd be too attached, and I'm like, well, it's not about you. It's not about you. It's about the dog. So that's how you get
and
through
I
it.
like to say, we get that all the time, but my reply there is, no, you have it all wrong. If you can't give that dog up, then that dog was meant for you to have.
Yeah.
But if you can, and everybody, we all cry. I had Captain, who was a special needs, shot in Puerto Rico, one leg, wore diapers, had him for 2 years. Not one application in 2 years. And he was still my foster. Every day I would look at him and go, I'm not your mommy, but he was my dog for 2 years. And when that perfect family, we were blessed that they found him on Pet Finder, which was fantastic. When he left that day, I was beside myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
But look, he has a phenomenal home now. He has a family, so it happens.
He's so beautiful.
But
Captain.
when that dog is the one, then that's the one,
Absolutely,
and you keep that dog.
And I get that, and I do get that. But so I say to people all the time that it's not about you. Like I think in my head, but what advice would you give me when I say I can't look at that sad stuff? I get so stuck there.
Don't.
Then I'm just too soft for it.
No, there's so many other aspects of rescue.
That's right.
That there's different people that fit those little tasks, let's say. You don't have to. That's for us, the scarred ones,
Yeah, no, it's true. It's terrible.
That we'll deal with that. But there's so many other things that people don't understand. I try to tell, we do a lot of kids, camps and classes and after school clubs and things like that and career days. And I always try to tell the kids, it's not just rescue. You don't have to go out and rescue the dog. You can be a trainer. You can be a dog walker. You could be pet photography. All these things, and those things will also give back to the rescue community. So there's all kinds of aspects that.
And so many people, like you said, like they can't foster. They maybe cannot even, some people can't have a pet in their home at all. Could be allergies, could be a landlord. But they can help. I know everybody needs money. We all need to raise money for the rescues. But what other things? Because I know some of the most generous people that I know don't have a lot of money. Right. So what could they do? Like towels, old towels. Like what could they do?
Yeah. First and foremost.
Spread the word.
Yes. Yeah. First and foremost, share. Yeah. Share, be a squeaky wheel. Costs nothing. 99% of the population is on social media of some sort. Just share. Show a neighbor. One of the dogs that you did a highlight on, Cammie. Oh. So Cammie was in foster right here in Woodrow. And a next door neighbor fell in love with her. And they were still up in the air, wasn't sure with, they would see her every day. And one of the other neighbors to the foster mom said, there's a different neighbor that lost a dog a year ago, and they're ready, and made the introduction, and they adopted. Cammie found her forever, this amazing family, and that's it. Just share. Open your mouth. Doesn't have to even be on social media.
Right.
Just tell your neighbor. Have your neighbor tell their friend or family.
And I think one of the biggest things, in my opinion, is spread the good word about how many amazing dogs are in rescue, because there's definitely a common misconception that, rescue dogs are damaged. Yeah, sometimes they have some things to work out, like we all do, right? Because they're getting moved around from home to home. But I would say almost every dog I've ever fostered, and we've fostered well over 100 dogs, I would say they all were perfect. They were so great that I'm like, how am I not keeping this dog? But I know there's a bigger reason why we don't keep them, so that we could, those great homes.
Right. You and your family have been able to be a part of 100 different dogs.
Yeah,
journey.
absolutely. And if we would have kept the first 10, not even 10 would be a lot in my house, but if we would have kept them, we would never have been able to help the other 90. Yeah. So I agree with you, but
I think it's fun to foster.
It is. It's like test driving the car too. If somebody's thinking about adopting, I'm like, foster to adopt. Absolutely. See if this dog's a perfect fit for your family. And if not, guess what? You just help that dog on his journey. Or cat. There's a lot of cats in rescue too.
Our little guys, the L litter, Luca, Larry.
Yes, they were here. They were
Louie and Leo. They're all in foster right now. 3 of them are foster to adopt.
Oh, I love it. And we actually have a video coming out now from when they came with us to visit the Grace Foundation. They're adorable.
Fantastic.
They're adorable.
But getting back to what you said about people, the misconception that rescue dogs are damaged somehow. No. What I will say is a lot of the dogs that come out of homes that they were maybe purchased or gotten as puppies, the humans did the damage that now they're winding up in rescue. That's not fair to put on a dog, and it's up to the human to do the responsible thing, which is get a little bit of training, especially if it's a puppy. Socialize that dog.
People need to be trained. I say that all the time. I need the training. I'm like, why do my dogs act like that? I'm like, maybe it was me. It was most of the times it was me starting bad behavior.
I love, what near and far also, what we tend to do is we help usually the ones that there isn't a human involved, where we do a lot of stray work. And those dogs are not, they're not, damaged by a human yet. They haven't been ruined by a human. They come to you and they are
trusting and loving.
They're just easy.
But I have to tell you, I had one dog and terrible. Mouth was, tied shut. He was the most loving, trusting dog. I'm looking at him. I'm like,
When you sit back and you look at the behavior between animals, dogs, we should learn from them. Just on basic behavior, basic manners in between, a mother and a litter.
Oh yeah.
You could also tell when a puppy was taken away too soon. Yeah. Doesn't have the manners that, the mom, just naturally teaches. It's really been interesting. You learn a lot about yourself by watching the dogs.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I you have to have a sense of humor. I always say with fostering dogs, I have 3 dogs, right? So things happen every day, and I'm like, it's a riot, but it's great, and I could not imagine my life any other way. I have, I guess, a question to ask about. So if somebody comes to you and they say that, they've seen that somebody has abused a dog or, and you want to intervene, how do you do that? Because I know that there's so many limitations. There's so many things that we can't do and so many laws that need to be changed.
I guess depending on what that person might think is abuse or neglect. Sometimes it isn't.
It could be a husky that loves to be outside in the cold.
Yes.
Right.
I'm going to we'll play devil's advocate right now. If it is a husky that happens to be outside in a blizzard, that dog most likely is loving life. I speak from experience. One of my first big dog as a child was a husky. And when he was inside, he was miserable.
Yeah.
He howled and hated and banged and wanted anything and everything to get outside. That's all he wanted. When it was snowing, he was his happiest. Right. So ask a question, maybe ring a doorbell.
Yeah.
Don't go in, hot. Sometimes you could ask, are you okay? Does the dog need anything? Sometimes people are just embarrassed.
Well, it's so funny. We had a situation where I live where there's actually a couple of huskies that are always getting out of the house, out
They're
of the
famous.
yard, right?
That's
and
that's
I
us.
said, I was like, everybody is crucifying these people on social media, and I'm like, do you need help fixing your fence?
There you go.
Like, maybe they just need help with something, yeah. And like the dog should be taken away. I'm like, to go where? Like
That's the second part of, okay, if you want to intervene, you're going to have a plan, because myself, or the local rescues, all the independent rescuers are inundated with dogs that we're caring for now, finances, it's just.
How do you raise your money? How is money raised for your organization?
I beg. No. I beg.
Listen, there's no shame in that, right?
Yeah, well, we do a lot of fundraisers. Thursday, tomorrow night, we have our bingo.
I was going to ask you next fundraiser.
Our bingo raffle, fundraiser. That's been sold out. Sold out 2 weeks after we announced it to our regulars. So
love it.
It's great. We have
Some
another
people
one.
really
December
love
3rd.
bingo.
December 3rd.
People really love bingo.
We have
and
our
dogs.
holiday. Yes, we have our holiday bingo coming up. But people do donate to our medical cases. We work with some platforms that do campaigns for us, and they donate back. We have our clothing drive coming up October 11th. Okay. That's another way. That's free. That's for someone
that doesn't have the money, but they want to help. Absolutely. I love it.
So it's twofold. You help the dogs and you clear out your closets. Absolutely. And it costs nothing. And it raises money for.
Where do they bring the clothes?
So they'll come to the puppy spot.
Okay.
Our puppy pavilion that we call it. And it's a 1 day. It's a very short time. We're very rigid with the parameters of how to donate because we have nowhere to store it. So it's October 11th. Between 10 and 12 p.m. If they follow us on social media, all the information will be on there. But we do that about 2 to 3 times a year. People are waiting. People have been holding onto bags in their shed for this, which I love. It's great.
Yeah, and blankets and stuff like that too.
Towels,
that's great.
Blankets, towels, clothes, pocketbook, shoes, even plushies, anything of cloth.
Okay.
And they'll take, and we get paid per pound.
I love it. Great. That's awesome. If anybody wants to donate, learn more about your rescue, about your upcoming events, it's only on Instagram. Where are you?
We have 2 accounts on Instagram. So that's at Near and Far AF. And people like AF. Yeah. However you want to take it.
Whatever, just donate.
And then we do have Near and Far AF events. That's just events that we'll post all the information. Our Foster Retreat in Pennsylvania is NAFAF Foster Retreat, NAFAF Foster Retreat. And then you can see the dogs that are up there that we have.
Wow. So how many dogs are in your foster care now?
In Pennsylvania, so there's Austin, who's from Texas. She's been there over a year now. We had 3 dogs that came up that Austin's the last. No applications. And sadly, but happily, one of our former adopters from years ago, her pity just passed about maybe 9 months ago. And she reached out about 3 weeks ago and she said, we're ready. I said, okay. And I showed her the boys. She's like, no, I want bigger. Then I showed her the girls and then I said, wait a second. Because she had a black pitty. And I said, wait a second. I said, what do you think of Austin? And I sent the picture and she said, done.
Oh, I love it.
And that's how she adopted
her dog that passed away was like similar. So that's what, okay. Yeah. Some people go the opposite way. Like after your dog passed away, like I had a golden retriever, she passed away and I wound up getting a very small black and brown dog. Like I just couldn't, and then years later I wound up with another golden retriever, but it's funny how people, go about it, or some people are just true to that breed and they're like, that's it.
And it's going to be a perfect match. So this weekend I'm going to PA to take her
Austin.
and bring her home. She's going to be a Brooklyn girl.
I love it. Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. Yes. And that's one of the great things about foster care too. A lot of people don't realize, or anybody that, spends a lot of time with these dogs that need to, they're going to find their forever home. You find out what's best for them. You learn about them, and you could say, okay, this dog would never do good in the city or Brooklyn. This dog, unfortunately, sometimes isn't great with other dogs, isn't great with kids, or all different things. And you can set them up for success for their, their forever home, which that I love too.
So our dogs that we rescue in Texas, like I said, they're medical cases. After they come out of the hospital, they go into the foster with our rescuers. So they are spot on when they give us the details, spot on, because they're there for at least another month to 3 months. And I can't tell you, most of the time they're already placed, adopted before they even travel
I love
up.
that, because I hate when, sometimes, I'm not saying any particular rescue, but sometimes some people are not truthful, or a foster, just for whatever reason, and it's not a perfect match. That all could be avoided so easily, and not everybody's for everyone, So I know certain dogs, need to be in an area where they could run around a little bit more, or they're nervous of the traffic going by in the city, and those things could be avoided if yeah.
I personally love hearing and getting all the updates from our rescuers
Is that
and
not the
fosters
best part?
and showing, and then we get to show our followers or whatever. People, they engage
They want to
with
know.
these
People
stories.
want to know the follow up. They want to know what happened. Even like puppies that we fostered. When I show them as an adult, they're like, "Oh my gosh!"
They're still very
it's crazy.
attached.
Yeah,
they're invested.
Yeah, absolutely.
We have a special needs. Oh my God, I don't know what he is. He's definitely pity Chihuahua. It's very.
Oh boy,
he's.
I'm sorry for somebody. I'm not sure if it was who, but yeah.
What is he now? Maybe 6 months old now.
What's his name?
Well, we named him Binky,
Okay.
but his nickname is Rex because he's like a T-Rex. His front legs did not develop.
Oh.
So he's very short, and they're very, very stuck. And he gets around, but Miriam, our rescuer in Texas, she's actually at the border. She said, he could stay with me forever if we don't find anybody, because she wanted to save him. She begged. She didn't really have to beg. All she had to do was send a picture. I'm like, yes.
Yeah, we're done.
But I said, okay. But one of our hardcore fosters from Pittsburgh, she just lost her female. She had a medical case from Puerto Rico for us years ago. She had a medical case from Honduras for us after the Puerto Rico dog passed. She said, I'm ready. Really? She just, out of the blue, she wrote, she raised a hand and she said, who do you have for me? And she's good with pits. So I said, I go, well, she goes, I'll take anything, special needs, anything. I said, really? I said, what do you think of Binky? She's like, Binky. She knew the story.
Yeah.
She's like, send him. I'm like, for real? She's like, send him. I'm ready. I said, okay, he's going to need a wheelchair. She said, not a problem. She goes, but I have the 2 cats. I go, he's living with 4.
Yeah,
I said,
yeah.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Oh, I love that.
So Binky, who you would think might have a hard time finding placement, has a home.
Yeah. Oh, listen, there's a lid for every pot.
Yes.
There's a shade for every lamp. There's
And
so
a
many
butt for
things.
every seat.
That's right. That's right. So now, your friend, the rescuer at the border.
Yes.
Is it true that there are dogs at the border? I heard that a lot of people traveled with them, and then when they were getting into the country, that they kind of couldn't enter with them and left them there.
I have not.
I haven't heard it recently, but I heard it a long time ago.
So we're dealing with Texas, Mexico for forever, But I have not heard that at all.
Okay.
She travels back and forth every day. She lives in Mexico, travels to Brownsville every day, crosses, legally every day. And that I have not heard.
Yeah, it was probably maybe a year or two ago, and I was watching something, and this woman was going there and getting all the dogs and flying them, and I was like, oh my God. And then I ended up with a foster that came from Venezuela with the family.
That's tough. I would
and
love
she
to
gave
get-
birth at my house.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm telling you, I don't know how my family still talks to me.
I would love. We have our rescue in Venezuela that and I had said to her, can we get some of the dogs? Because we get some of our Peru dogs. That's an undertaking. That there's a lot of paperwork, a lot. You have to be very.
How do you fly them here? How do they get here?
Due to the new rules with the CDC, they have to have their rabies shots. They have to then, a few months later, have to get a titer test to make sure that they indeed get their rabies shot. All their vaccines, all of that, microchipped. They must be spayed or neutered. All of that takes about let's say anywhere from 3 to 6 months for the paperwork. That titer test can only be done in 6 laboratories that are approved by the CDC. So that's a little rough. And luckily, JFK now is one of the few airports that imported dogs are allowed to, animals in general are allowed to fly into now.
Wow.
So that works out for us, but not for a lot of other people. I will say it used to cost anywhere like from $1,100 to maybe $1,500 a dog with everything included. Crate, airfare, all the, testing, all of that stuff. Now it's about $3,000
And they go on regular commercial flights?
Now it's about $3,000 a dog.
Wow.
So it's rough. Last year we brought our Peru 5 up last August, which was it was very stressful. But we got them here and they were adopted.
Wow.
Phenomenal
Thank God.
dogs.
Thank God.
So now we
Can
do
I
have
ask you a
5
question?
that we want
I always wonder about these things.
Go ahead.
So they fly with like the luggage? Like is there a
In
cargo
cargo.
area?
It's cargo, yeah.
Okay. And it's temperature controlled and all that kind of stuff?
Depending on the airline.
Okay.
Yeah, it went. If you could get a flight buddy, and they're 20 pounds or less, you
could
can
fly with
get them.
them.
Yes.
I just flew, we went to Portugal, and coming home, there was so many people that had dogs sitting at their feet. I was like, my dogs would be running. Again, the owner needs to be trained, not the dog, running up and down the aisle. They would never sit like that. I would need to get seats for them. And they do that, or they only just let them at their feet?
It would be, no, in the cabin, it should be 20 pounds or less.
Less, okay.
Yeah, I guess unless it's a legit service dog.
Yeah, yeah.
We've flown many, many dogs over the years, and we've had great experiences. Yeah.
I love it. It's so crazy to me because, so many rescues. And some are rescues, but they're not really rescues. They just call them. I talk to people. They're like, "Oh yeah, I'm a rescuer." I'm like, "What do you do?" And I don't want to knock it. I feel like if you have a heart and you're helping one dog, that's amazing, right? I want to say maybe 25 years ago, I used to trap, neuter, and release. Before it was even like a thing. I remember taking a week off of work to get these cats because I knew that somebody in the area was not being kind to the kittens, and I was crazy about it, and nobody helped me pay for anything, and I did all that kind of stuff, and that was a huge part of my life. And then the next thing I know, we had babies and dogs, and we had cats at that time, but then it turned into more dogs because not all cats were doing good in my house with the dogs, and but it's just there's so much to be done.
Yes.
All rescues, if you're going to deal with the rescue, you have to look into them and check them out.
Yes, do a little bit of homework, see if they fit what you think you want to do or how to help. It's, again, there's many ways that someone can help.
Absolutely, yeah. And people don't even realize, too, sometimes, even kids. I know so many kids that, raise money.
There you go. Bottles. We do a recycle.
Oh, I love it.
Recycling,
I love it.
program.
That's awesome.
Bottles.
That's awesome. So where can people find like all this information about you?
I say we're a little more active on Instagram than Facebook. If you're going to DM us, do Instagram. Facebook, I'm not that great as far as, personally, I'm good on Facebook.
Yeah. It's our age, Carla. Me too. I'm like, Instagram, where's the DM? What?
And they can email us, ask questions. We would love to. We love going into schools and bringing Stuart and Chenzi. We have our comfort dogs in training. We go once a month to the Cora Hoffman Day Hab for cerebral palsy, and we bring the dogs. And I can't tell you, every month I am in awe of how the individuals that come out for, we call it puppy therapy, how more engaged each time. Every month they're more and more engaged. They know their names.
love it.
They're answering questions where a lot of their caretakers are actually in shock. They're
Like that they open up. They open up like that. Yeah. Carla, talk about crying. I'd be
oh no,
about
that's
that too.
yeah, that I adore going on my Fridays or my Mondays to Korhoffen.
Oh, I love it. You do so much good stuff, and I'm so proud to know you.
Aw,
Carla was
thank
here
you.
with Near and Far for our pet adoption event this year at DiTommaso. We've worked together in the past, and like I said, I'm proud to know her because you do so much and so much for the community and so much that people don't even realize. And not only here but far, near and far. Get it? Anyhow, if anybody wants to adopt a dog,
Yes.
also on Instagram.
Instagram, a pet finder. You can find us on Pet Finder.
What's the criteria? Like you have a process that they have to fill out an application?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
There's a free application. There'll be a home inspection, virtual home inspection, references, vet references, things like that. But we make sure that our dogs go to a safe and proper home.
That's the best. That's the best way. I love it. Thank you so much, Carla, for
thank you
being
for having
here,
me.
and thank you for all that you do. And I'm sure we'll be talking again in the future because there's so much to talk about. I didn't even get. There's so many layers. There's so many layers to rescue. My next question, the next time we get together, I want to see how a day in the life goes, and might be a little scary, right? It's like so much going on.
exhausting.
But but we're gonna do that stuff too.
Perfect.